What is up, guys? It's Scott with Never Hedge, back with another edition of Stocks We Like. Today we're going to be talking about 88 Energy, stock code EEENF. They have recently shot up. They're currently sitting at 6 cents. It's an energy company based out of Australia. They've got a couple of drilling contracts in Alaska that we're going to get to in a minute. So if we look here, just a couple of weeks ago, they were sitting at a penny, and now they've gone a 6x increase to 6 cents. Still pretty cheap, but that's huge. And we're going to go over why they jumped so high in the last week or so. Yeah, well, they doubled this week. They were as high as 7 cents, and then they pulled back a little bit on Thursday. But I still think this is the ground floor for this stock. And let's get into why that might be. So what do? 88 Energy operates roughly 200,000 net acres at Project Icewine and 195,000 net acres at Project Peregrine, both targeting oil in the world-class North Slope of Alaska. So this is from Reddit. I've been able to verify some of it, but this is largely theoretical, so take this with a grain of salt. This is RE Merlin 1. This is one of their drills. I'm 99.9% confident in the following. The week has been interesting, and lots of comments and inquiries and price speculations. I know nothing about how to evaluate corporate stock values except for what I paid in the current price. There are some amazing people here that I do follow, and I do follow them closely, like drafting the race car ahead of me. I tailgate. The well has been successfully drilled to total depth. Risk is reduced. The preliminary prognosis for the geological depth, the top was around 600 feet low, and they had to drill an additional rock above. They indicated that this upper 500 interval had promising mud log hydrocarbon shows, and the risk has been further reduced. They indicated that the preliminary targets, 3 potential sandstones reservoirs in the Nanushuk Formation, also had mudlog hydrocarbon shows. Risk reduced further. Open hole well logging operations have commenced. The results this weekend with up to date around the first of the week or so. 120 million year old Cretaceous age Nanushuk Formation is known to be oil and gas productive, situated in a proven hydrocarbon province. Each step has reduced the risk and increased the potential of commercial discovery. So this is the imaginary discussion. Here is a map of the Project Peregrine and Project Icewine. These are both huge plots of land. That's a combined 400-ish thousand acres of land. We found a DD packet from Pokestonk's Twitter, or Pokestonk's trainer, Twitter handle at HarrisRad88. Go give this guy a follow for putting out this good information here. Let's get into it. Okay, this is stuff we already saw before with the map and all of that. Current share price movement and excitement mostly focused on Project Peregrine, but you can read more about Project Icewine here at that link there. I'll link to this DD packet in the description below. Side note about Project Icewine: last year 88 Energy discovered oil in Charlie 1, but the results were mixed and deemed residual, i.e. not viable for further testing until other wells with oil are discovered that will make the operation viable to continue. Also, COVID unfortunately shut down and stalled all operations. Project Willow is projected to net ConocoPhillips 100,000 barrels of oil per day. Source here: in resuming operations, analysis of Project Peregrine correlates to the same findings occurred in Project Willow and Project Harpoon. Project Peregrine is located directly beneath the ConocoPhillips acreage on the North Slope and directly above the Umiat, which 88 Energy acquired on January 8th, 2021, is confirmed to have oil and has already been flow tested, but was abandoned in 2014 because it was too far from the Alaskan pipeline and not commercially viable to extract, considering this operational hurdle, ? Umiat is estimated to have 124 million barrels of oil. Huge. Here are the locations of Project Peregrine, Harpoon, Umiat, and Willow locations. The current drill site is located on the same shelf and right in the middle of Willow, Harpoon, and Umiat with confirmed oil discoveries. Project Peregrine is projected to have the following amount of oil based on seismic and data analysis. So now we're going into the company share structure. 88 Energy has 12.5 billion outstanding shares, and this is his DD on the share structure below. So the outstanding shares is set at 12 billion. He did his research and is convinced that the ADRs are separate securities that can be traded on an exchange apart from common shares, and they're used in scenarios where you would move the shares to another foreign exchange and other special case scenarios I'm personally not privy to, but the information can be found online. In order to obtain an ADR, you would have to convert your existing shares into one via your broker, or you would purchase one. Your ADR will change in price as per the ADR conversion rate agreed upon by the company, i.e. 10 to 1. Your security would also be identified as an ADR, not a common share like we're all buying here. The same way a warrant is a warrant with different values compared to its corresponding common share. It is identified as a warrant, not a share. Go on OTC markets and search for ADRs under security type, and you will see the difference. Also, if you search for EEENF ADR, you will not find one. You'll only find EEENF common shares. ADRs are also less liquid and more complicated to trade. We are not purchasing ADRs. We are trading common shares listed across multiple exchanges. So the outstanding shares is 12 billion, not 12 billion divided by 10. That would not make sense considering we are trading 1-to-1 in share price with the ASX and LSX, and B, completely put other exchanges at a disadvantage. No institution would buy on ASX if the floats between exchanges were so incredibly lopsided. Being listed on multiple exchanges is advantageous as it allows access to more capital. This is especially true for foreign companies looking to be listed on the U.S. exchange. The U.S. is the world's largest economy and therefore has the most capital. Many companies outside of the U.S. would find value in being listed on the U.S. exchange in order to increase their access to massive amount of U.S. capital. Potential benefit is increased liquidity since investors have more options where they can buy or sell shares. This also affects the bid-ask spread, since the more liquid a stock is, the smaller the bid-ask spread is. This makes it easier for investors to buy and sell shares whenever they choose. So this is their top 20 shareholders as of November 11th, 2020. Bunch of guys with a hell of a lot of shares, more than you or I have. In finance, a nominee refers to a person or company who has been entrusted with the safekeeping of investors' securities or property. All of your investments are held in its name while you retain control. The securities are held in trust, and the nominee is the legal owner, but you hold the real ownership as the beneficiary. The broker can buy and sell on your behalf, but your funds are protected if the brokerage goes out of business or your broker tries to swindle you. The nominee company should be neutral third party that is separate from the brokerage itself. People think the top 20 shareholders are institutional buyers, but that is incorrect. The majority are brokers who are holding the shares for retail investors. However, that is a huge number of shares that are locked up by these educated investors with their brokers. Effectively reduces the float to around 8 billion. We can assume less now that the entire stock world has eyes on this beast. On to the good stuff. So update details. The Nanushuk Formation, which contains the primary targets for the Merlin 1 well, was encountered 600 feet low to prognosis and is interpreted to be 500-ish feet thicker than that encountered in the wells drilled into on the Willow oil field. It's an analog well to the north of the Project Peregrine acreage. Encouragingly, the gamma log indicates the presence of more sand packages than those in the analog wells, and that the sand packages in Merlin 1 are greatly cleaner in nature. Reservoir quality will only be known once analysis of the wireline logging is complete. Second update details. Oil shows were recorded over multiple intervals of the Nanushuk while drilling Merlin 1, including the primary targets. The fluorescence ranged from relatively weak to moderate, dry fluorescence with slow to moderate, sometimes fast streaming cut when exposed to solvent. See Figure 1. Mud gas peaks were also recorded, and although not generally of the same scale of the increase in total gas above the background as that seen in the analog well, one of the prospective horizons in Merlin 1 did have substantially elevated total gas, similar to that of in the analog wells. Heavier gas components, including C5, were observed over multiple intervals. Resistivity was elevated over these intervals and is encouraging, particularly in the context of the Nanushik is considered low resistivity play type. Let's go up to the fluorescence test that ADA Energy provided. According to this, they appear to be in the 45 plus API category, also known as high grade oil, aka black gold. Similar to the API discovered in Willow, which was 41 to 44 API. That's some of the best natural oil you can find. Excellent. If the wireline results are confirmed positive, the discovery can be announced, and the next phase float testing can be conducted. Important note, the contractor hired to do the drilling opted to be paid in shares instead of 6.8 million cash. Interesting to say the least. Below are excerpts from the public filings on their website. Okay, so this is from their contractor. ADA Energy has entered into a share subscription agreement with Elko International, one of the major contractors in the operation. Under the agreement, Elko will be issued 360 million shares at 0.018, so they've already crushed it so far, and that was a 225% premium to the placement undertaken in February 2021. There are no fees associated with this, so Elko is crushing it on their share. So this is all great news, and in the future, I think ADA Energy is going to be worth way more than the paltry 6 cents at which is valued today. And in short, I like this stock.